welcoming you tonight to the very exclusive presentation of the College of DuPage student chapter of the American Meteorological Society. That's a lot of things to say. I wanted to start out our meeting just by telling you something about our latest measurable snowfall. I think we've already set the record for the longest time between measurable snowfalls. The last one was what, March 3rd was our last measurable snowfall? And you can keep it that way. I'm perfectly okay with that. Patrick brought this in, and right now we're sitting over here. 1946, we didn't get our first snow till December 12th. That was 200ths of an inch. The 14th on 2001, 100th of an inch. And then in 1965, that was the latest one at 300ths of an inch. Here's your seasonal snowfall total at O'Hare for 30 years, 36.7, 128-year average. Is that for Chicago or at O'Hare?
That's for Chicago.
That's for no matter where it was?
All four observations.
Okay, so 37. So you're looking at about 37 inches. So almost all the time, actually all the time, it had late snowfall. We ended up less for the year. Although it's kind of odd that we had a lot less when it started in earlier December. And then we still had pretty good amount in 1946. So who knows? And does anybody know what the forecast is? Isn't there a chance for snow coming up Sunday?
Yeah, something like that for the weekend.
We have meteorologists here.
It's looking more so like it'll happen this coming weekend than it was last weekend. Like
Okay, so
a little bit more cold air and a little bit.
and that what is today? What is today's date? 10. So we could still beat the 16th. So here's
It's surprising how minuscule the amounts are for a mid-December snowfall.
but it's looking more and more active. So and the snowfall is certainly set down across the northern plains. So anyway, Faye, you've got some announcements.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Thank you again for coming. My name is Faye. As most of you know, I'm the president of the AMS Club. I just wanted to catch you up on some AMS news that we have going on right now. Currently, we are selling calendars. They are for sale, so they are $12, but due to mishaps in them, but we, if you are feeling generous, we do accept $15. Also, we are selling T-shirts as well. The first one is Eat, Sleep, Storm Chase. It's part of like our little storm chasing year. And then meteorologists do it with models, RAP, NAM, GFS, and the Euro. If you would like to purchase these, they are $15 a piece. And
are these going to be purple or blue?
And these are going to be blue. Good pointing out to me. Thank you. They'll be $15 a piece, and you can order them. You can email us, let us know, and we can get it in for you. So today we have Eric Szos here from the Cherry Logistics. He's going to be talking about working in the private sector. So if you guys could give him a round of applause, and he can come up here.
All right. Thank you, Faye.
You're welcome.
Clicker's good to go. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Well, thank you very much for the invites. It is good to be back. It's been a long time. It's been I was a student back the 2002 fall semester, and it's funny you guys don't even know, but this weather lab used to be in an IC building a little bit ways down, and then I moved over to the M and came back here. So this is very, very nice. You guys have it made pretty good. Just for those, also I want to point out with Evan, I did help him with his first forecast too, way back, and I think it was we called for cloudy the next day, and I believe it was sunny.
It was terrible.
It was awful. Exactly, that's right. Well, I'm sure many of you know this storm right here, way back, just a couple years ago, the good old blizzard, the Groundhog Day blizzard, I guess they call it. Weather Channel might call it Brutus or Caesar. I don't know which one, whichever they want to go with. But basically, just kind of tell you, who we are, what we do. Facility maintenance company, just based out of North Aurora, Illinois, just right out down 88 off of 31. We do a lot of services, anywhere from landscaping, snow removal. We just started getting into generator work, and I'll kind of explain a little bit how that weather plays a part in that and everything. And big time is salt. We do salt brokering, our contractors. Basically, picture us as a third party, and we're sort of the middle people between a company like, let's say, Walgreens, Bank of America, Jewel Osco, and then we also work with the contractor. So When a storm comes up, contractor calls in, they tell us when they do some type of report. We then can go and notify the store, letting them know contractor's on site, store is being taken care of. And then we get into the billing cycle of how snowfall totals work. And we know that can be extremely difficult. And again, I'll talk a little bit more about that as well. So our customers, it's going to be a little tough to see. I do apologize. I tried my best. We got, Midwest is a huge chunk. Obviously, Chicago, big time. Of all United States, we have about 1,500 sites we do. And again, this covers, like I said, Bank of America, Jewel Osco, big retail stores. We got some in Oklahoma, Texas, along the West Coast. You can imagine topography is a big time issue. And, again, trying to forecast that is tough because you got a site that's 4,000 elevation. You drop down 500 feet, give or take, and they have no snow. I mean, it just really can be very tricky. But over a couple of years, I've been doing it out in the West Coast, and you get to kind of understand how the systems work when they arrive. Seattle is a big market we got into last year. And, they had their record snow since 1940 when they got dumped with about a foot of snow. Absolutely amazing. Again, here's Indiana, a big pocket. Michigan is our new sites this year. And again, it's been such a slow start. As Patrick brought in the information, it's not making management too happy. It's a struggle. Our winter season is our bread and butter. I mean, we rely on everything. Again, the summertime, we're trying to get into work with severe weather, but that's just in Chicago, and this obviously encompasses, this is just our winter sites, from November 1st to April 30th that we cover. East Coast got a little bit as well, Massachusetts and down through New Jersey. We did have a big pocket in Baltimore a couple years ago, and them as well got, I believe, 3 blizzards or so in 1 year. I think it was 2009, 2010. So it's kind of give you an idea of what we have. So the private sector, you got 3 different groups. Maybe there's more, but I mean, you got National Weather Service, the government, you got TV, broadcasting, and then the private sector. There's plenty of forecasting, but as you can imagine, with that many locations, you don't have time to do your data analysis, to look at things, GFS, your NAM, everything. You just kind of have to rely off the weather service, unfortunately. I hate to say that, but it's just one of those things. You're timed, you're pressured. You got to get emails out to corporations. They want to know what's going on. Just kind of give you an example. I walk in the morning, take a look. I love weather.gov, great website. Take a look, see the watches and warnings going on. From there, go ahead and start emails to all of our customers. And then what they do is they take those emails, send them out to their store locations, and then they at least know what's coming weather-wise. That way then you picture a retail store, Dominic's. They get a weather report. That way then they understand what's coming. They get their carts in on time. The plow trucks can then come in, do the service. It's just, again, it's a smooth way of doing things. Sales, yes, there is sales. It's always a tough one. Disagreement as far as whether it shouldn't be sold, etc. But in the private sector, that's what they like you to do. So what I do is I have weather service I send out to contractors, have them sort of buy in and try and offer them, which is tough to do because weather's free. You can get anywhere, apps on your phone, etc. It's really nice. But just try and offer them, they love to talking to somebody at 24/7 consultation. Our office is 24/7. So they always like to talk to somebody, see what's going on. These guys get up at 3 in the morning. They want to know what's going on. And so, you give us a call. We tell them, hey, be ready to start salting in an hour. Storm's coming in from Iowa, approaching our area, stuff like that. But it is corporate America. It's some perks to it, I'll admit. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m., not 24/7, no midnight shift. It's some advantages. But I lost my train of thought there. But yeah, it's, again, our main time is the winter. November to April is our 24/7. So just to give you an example, this is sort of what the service looks like. This gets sent out. We have about 400 contractors that do dispatching in all of our markets. Try and bait them best you can, what you can offer. Best thing we've kind of come up with is just 3 different weather packages. We got the yearly one, because some of these guys do landscaping and snow plowing both. So we try and entice them to get the year, again, 24/7 consultation, daily forecasts. Just really try and centralize on their area. Is that tough to do? Of course. But again, we have secrets, tools that we use to, kind of incorporate automatic systems that go through processors, etc. How many of you guys, thinking about the weather office, broadcasting? I mean, broadcasting-wise, any hands? No? Government? You? All right, nice. There you go. Government office, National Weather Service? Nice. And again, it's just, the private sector is growing significantly. And, I mean, you got Chesapeake, you have Murray and Treadle, you have all these companies that are trying to, some good, some bad. But again, this example, what we have here, we got a 7-day forecast. Sort of example what goes out, we get the location. Again, just all something I created, nothing special, but freezing rain. These guys, this is key. A lot of times you can kind of picture a storm comes through, backside, temperatures drop. These guys want to know what time it drops, when to put salt down. If it's raining and you put salt down, you've just charged the store several $100s. They get upset. They want a refund. It can cause a lot of grief. And then that's when data comes in. They want to know what temperature it was at this time, etc. Keep going here. Next one. This is sort of a sample, just kind of giving you an idea of what, 10:15. Obviously, I know you can kind of chuckle. It's not the best thing to do as far as exact timing, but just again helps them be prepared, get ready for what's coming in. It's a good old level, confidence level forecasting, high confidence, medium, low confidence, etc. Temperatures, get the different ways. This is always key, as I mentioned, for salting purposes. And they also want to know winds, too. This last system last night that came through, temperatures dropped, but to about the mid-20s. But again, there's enough drying that happened during the day to at least these guys ended up doing any salting, which was key. We have two different types of contracts. We have a seasonal, and we have a per push. The seasonal ones, these guys get paid every month a certain amount, $1,000 every month, no matter if it snows 100 inches or nothing. Per push is, as you can imagine, certain criteria. We have ways set up for each contract. 1 to 2 inches, you get this much. 2 to 4, you get this much. 3 to 6, etc. So, it can be, and again, just to give you an example, that Groundhog Day blizzard, over a foot of snow was, a couple grand. But from the time and effort they put in and paid their workers to do it, they lost money on it. So unfortunately, for them, it wasn't good. For us, it was nice. But we'll take it. So this is sort of what comes in after an event. We have a whole system. It's called an Intergist system, and it gets reported the work date that happens. Everything is always based on a work order, just like anything else. Whether or not they completed the job, what they did. They have their ID number, which they submit online. Everything's done online. We used to have faxes used to come in, and they put out the reports, snowed this much during this time. Example, the contractor name and the date of service that they performed the work. So right next to it, you've got the snow depth, 2 inches. And again, that's key because one of our contracts is 2 to 4 inches, and then it's 4.1 to 6. So of course these guys are going to want to put, 4.2, 4.1. They want that next increment up. So then they'll come back to me and say, how much snow actually fell? Not easy. Obviously not easy. You got Coco Ross, but a lot of the contracts specify NOAA data only. So unfortunately, there's a couple out there. The Hydrological Center, that's a good one to use. They have a lot of the snow data I gather from there. But it's closest to. It's not the exact location. They know that. Maybe it's 5 miles away, 10 miles away. It just kind of depends.
Cocoa Rods is not considered NOAA data?
It's not, which I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I've actually tried, I tried suggesting that, but
Because
go.
the Weather Service put out like graphical
Through UCAR,
It's through what?
through NCAR, yes.
Okay. So yeah, I mean that's. I've used it, and I do kind of convince them to go with it, especially if it's not a huge difference. So I guess you could say I cheat a little bit, but that's all right. It's all good. And Victor, by the way, this guy was a huge savior in my dynamics class, so this guy's good. Make sure to listen to him. He helped us through that class. All right, just keep going. We got next category, full plow, part plow. This is another tricky situation. If you did a part plow, half the lot's full. Let's say you go in a Jewel lot and you got 8 cars in there. You can't get those 8 cars with snow, and obviously snow fell and the car parks. They got to come back overnight and do another service. That would be considered a part plow. The time they had it done, salting, that's just a standard full salt as we call it. The whole parking lot gets done. Sidewalks, building sidewalks, city sidewalks, parking lot. So again, you can imagine big Midwest storm comes through. You saw the sites we have. It's thousand sites to go through. As long as everything matches up and it's pretty consistent going through, as long as no one puts an 8.1 when we know there was 3 inches, we kind of have an idea that we just let that go. But if there is an extremely amount, then we definitely have to analyze it, look at it. I send the data to our accounting department. They then bill it out properly. Any questions? Good? Nobody? All right. So it's kind of funny. I just wanted to share, since I started, I've been there since 2008, so about 4 years now. And there's been some fun events. This one was one of the classic blizzard storms that hit the East Coast back in 2009. We had about 200 sites in Baltimore and New York City that just got absolutely plastered. Roanoke, Virginia, we had tons of sites, and these were all per push events. So you get in that 12-plus inch amounts, you really start getting a significant amount of money for that. I'll just keep going. Some of these are pretty good. This was a good one too. Oklahoma City, blizzard 2009. This one I actually did visit too. We have a group of field reps that go out and visit every site. These guys are kind of nice. They're kind of like weather watchers. They go to a site, report what they saw, write a sheet of paper, bring it back to the office, and then kind of go through and see. They have their rulers. It's not official, but at least it helps kind of give you an idea of what happened in certain areas. These guys travel across the country. Last year, one of my guys, Tim, went out to Seattle, and he was there in the epic blizzard. He's gone down to Oklahoma City. He's gone out to the East Coast. So again, we really want to make sure the customer we have to make sure the data is correct. That is definitely key. Another good one too was 2010. We had a storm that came through in Oklahoma City. I don't know if you guys remember the ice storm with snow. It was that was a mess as well. I sent some pictures of Skilling that day. That was incredible. And then one last year with Seattle, you can kind of see some of the amounts never seen since 1940, give or take, was that big of a storm, and they got the worst. And out there, they use sand. Oklahoma City uses sand. We try and broker salt out there, but they just shut down. There's nobody. Our guy Tim goes out there and he says, I can't even drive anywhere. It's just, they don't even do anything. They just let it sit. Stores don't want saltings. They don't want anything done. Just be left alone. It's liability is a big issue when that comes to that. And again, we do have an insurance department that if there's ever a slip and fall, we sort of have to go through the process, see how things go. If the contractor wasn't there on site, they're liable. And it can be pretty costly. You have to go to court, etc. So lots of different departments play a factor. I said a couple more here. This one was fun. Evan will laugh at this one. This was 2000. I think it was 2009. This one was forecasted for about 2 inches of snow that day, and got about a foot. Yeah, I did that too. I forecasted about 1.5 inches. So that's just in the general Chicago area. So that was a good one. That was definitely unexpected. So we kind of jump from winter to summer. What goes on from April to November. What happens. One of our key customers, just for example, I'll just take Dominic's. They have freezers, refrigerators, etc. Major storm comes through, 100-mile-an-hour wind gust, just blows the power out. They're done. It's up to us now, as in our department, we have a HVAC team and also a generator team that sets up and calls companies to go out and service. So I send a forecast out when severe weather is expected, kind of using SPC as a guidance, send out what's coming in. They then put generators on hold for their store just in case, and that's their call. If they don't do it and something comes through, they could end up paying double the price. If they do put them on hold, it still costs them something. It still helps us make money as well. But after the event's done, sort of have to give them a recap on what happened. And so just this past July here, again, something very short. It's private sector is public forecasting. It's not, you can't use the technical terms like we want to really bad. You got to really kind of keep it simple. So let's give a brief overlay of what happened. Severe Thunderstorm Watch have each warning that was issued. We actually had a store that was down in Hoffman Estates that we sent a generator to. And what happens is they get the invoice of that, send it back through, and then they at least have data and proof that something had actually happened, which is what they care about. And on top of that, we provide the ComEd report just to give them an example. Again, so just got this offline too, but at least gives them an idea. They're not wasting their money when they put them on hold. It's a serious ordeal for them to, especially the south side. Always outages on the south side. Tinley Park, Orland Park, the stores are just older, and they need the backup and the support to help out. So I mean, I don't want to just talk. I got candy, by the way, too, so help yourself. I don't want to talk about me. I just kind of want to give you guys an idea, too. What's the best approach? I know Victor, too, he's got plenty of ideas, too. Paul's classes are key, obviously. That's a given. It's where I started. That helped me, kind of excel in that forecasting aspect, and it's really used heavily with this job I have right here. I know you guys, probably tough to get internships sometimes. I don't know if you guys have any programs at all or any luck with internships right now or no? Is it?
Skilling.
Okay, that's good.
And Argon. We're trying to get Argon.
Oh, nice. Excellent. Yeah, that's key. Again, that brings me to my bonnet point. Right place, right time. That's where I was. I was with Scaling at the time. That company came in. I wanted to find out who Tom was, if he had any recommendations, any people. Again, I just happened to be there, which worked out well. I did start out part-time for about a year, and they got that blown into full-time. So are there discrepancies with the job? Are there tough days? How do you analyze data? It can be tough. It's not easy. There's some things I disagree with. It's not all, rainbows and sunshine, but it's overall, you try and just work with people to make them understand, your ways, how it should be done, what you're taught through Paul, through NIU, great professors there. If you can, I highly recommend any type of job you can just see on, whatever's out there. And it's probably mainly internships, because I know you guys are still getting your 2-year degrees, but that's pretty much key. So that's it. Kept it short. Questions, please? Anybody?
I got a ton of questions.
Go for it.
Start off if you guys.
Oh, you have the microphone.
I got the mic. I got my own here.
Oh, well, I'm going to talk over you. So, a big push that I've been hearing from Paul and Victor and Mike is programming and making sure you know how to program and learning all sorts of languages. Would you say it's key in the private sector as well?
That depends. That's actually a good question. For my particular side of things, maintenance company, not at all. We don't use any of that. We actually have an IT department that kind of figures that stuff out. The stuff we use, which is an automated forecasting system that we had built in a couple years ago, the IT side handles that aspect. But there are companies out there that definitely, GIS, is that a big? Yeah, that's key, and that's another big field too that's growing. So, yeah, absolutely, it's key. I mean, I took a C++, but I wish I took more, for sure. Absolutely.
I know in your case it was kind of serendipitous. You were in the right place in the right time. But for those of us who are
less fortunate, I'll use the term, what would your advice be to finding companies in the private sector to work for, and how to get your foot in the door in some of those places?
The one, I've heard about this too. A couple of my former, colleagues that graduated back then, and Victor might know a couple. They actually just went. They found whatever they could. It depended what type of field they wanted to go into. Marian Truttle was just a perfect example. That one did. He actually went there, went right in, just said, "What do you have open? I'll work for free." And they set him up. They said, "That's great. Come on in, work for free." He was there 3 months. They gave him a part-time job. A couple months later, and now he's full-time. So, it's tough. But really just whatever you see, and I know there's USA Jobs. There's a whole bunch, and I know Paul probably filters some in with an email. But just go in, find them, call them, email them. I wish I was more proactive before. And I know it's easy to stand here and say that, but yeah, you got to go in and just call them, definitely. Now be easy on me now.
I'm using his. No, I just want to know more. I want to know more about this company, Cherry Logistics. How big is it? How many people does it employ? How many meteorologists are there?
We've been in business about 10 years. About 35 people, give or take. When I started, there was 25. So now we've really excelled, and obviously the big winters helped. The 50-plus winters, that was key. That helped propel more positions, more people. Operations department, I'm sorry, I should be backtracking a little bit. Our operations department is where my forecasts go as well. And what they do is they make the calls to the contractors to make sure they're prepared to go out and do the services needed. So, there's a couple interns right now. We did have a full-time meteorologist, but she had left. I think I engaged, actually, so it worked out pretty well. So now we have interns that come in. We filter them through NIU. Would be more than happy to definitely open up something here as well to you guys, too. So that's also why I'm here, too, is to suggest just getting that practice, the forecasting. I know with Paul, you guys excel tremendously, so at least I know you guys know things, can kind of get a grasp on just sending out just getting the practice of the company aspect, the business email, what that's like, at least best I can in my position.
So you're the only meteorologist?
Yeah, a couple interns that come in. We go 24/7 during the winter time, so I'm during the day, and then they kind of back up the afternoon and evenings. No one really works overnight because contractors are sleeping. There's no phone calls coming in. Stores are closed. So, yeah. But yeah, there's a couple. We're really trying to grow the piece. Again, it depends on sales. That's just how it is in that business. The more you grow, I don't want to say like AccuWeather because that's terrible. But the more you grow, the more you get. So
it sounded like you found a niche, or whoever started Cherry Logistics really found a niche. The cost per unit's not very much, but you have a lot of units. So.
Yes, exactly. And Michael, our boss, he's a smart guy, and he wanted to get in that generator. That's been our other key, is the generator aspect. Just thousands of dollars being gotten off these stores that need the service, and no one's there to provide them. You'd think it'd be that easy to call up a store goes out, they call up a generator company, hey, come on in, but it just doesn't work that way. You always need that middle company to help secure that. So it's we're growing for sure.
I think you kind of touched on what I was about to ask, but it really seems like this company, the service it provides is really something that you'd think that everyone would really want. Do you guys have much competition? Are there other companies out there that do similar services?
We do. There's a whole bunch. There's companies called Tovar, SMS, USM, US Maintenance. They all have a dispatching center. They all have customers. They all have contractors that go out and do the service. But what they lack in is the data. When it comes through and the store gets that bill and they got 8 inches of snow, and the store manager calls and says, "You got to be kidding me! I got 3 inches of snow," and they just shrug their shoulders and say, "Sorry, that's how it is." So they hurt big time as a business, and that's why my boss had an idea to start this meteorology division.
Yeah.
Forecasting, again, United States forecasting is impossible. So, am I wrong all the time? Of course. That's just a given. But it's just given that alert that data to operations to make sure that they get the calls out to contractor that it's done properly. It's always the data that's key when that comes back. So double checking things, making sure that goes okay. Then the store has no complaints. No problem.
And real quick, I just want you to verify something with me. Maybe stand on my side for a second. There's one thing I've tried to preach to some of these students, that forecasting, like doing forecasts, is really the only way to test yourself that you know what you're talking about and you've learned what you've learned and know it well. And that actually writing forecasts helps.
That's
and
true.
That helps improve you.
They still haven't started on the.
Oh, I've got them.
Oh, you got them.
I rebuilt that site so they can post.
That's what I was wondering. Yes, guys, I know. I won't lie. I was Paul's best C student, hands down. So that's not. You got to do it. It's so pivotal. It helps. It helps tremendously. That's what they look for. That's what these companies want. That's what they need. Victor, again, he's a good guy to have. He probably has a lot more aspect or intel on that to kind of give you, but you got to do them. You have to, at least daily, weekly, and just do one once a week, twice a week. Just do something to get yourself into that daily stuff, looking at the water vapor, everything like that in the morning, getting things, it's good. Yeah, I'm definitely on your side on that one for sure. That's a given. That's right. No problem.
Anybody else? Yeah.
Do you ever use our COD weather site to look at?
You know which one I love? Yes, I do. Every day. I like it. I love the 4-panel precip. I know it's using the NAM, but you guys have the freezing rain snow that comes in, and I love that. I don't think it's really, I can't find that anywhere to use.
We're hoping to maybe improve upon that and do it not as 4 panels, but like each categorical precip type in one image, sort of like stacked on top of each other. So
oh, excellent.
it might be a little bit more fun to use, higher res. Yeah, and rollovers.
Nice. No, that's great. Yes, absolutely. Every day, daily basis, especially for data, and then when the front's coming through, everything like that. So, and what Paul's taught me, so it's good. I love it. Keep it up. Website's good.
I have one more if nobody else does.
So most private sector companies, I'll talk loud. Most private sector companies, their main goal is essentially to repackage weather information and tailor it for some specific company. So you said you rely on NOAA forecasts a lot. Where do you think the biggest value added is in terms of where would you say that's where we make our money? Because, right, we either make the forecast better than what they would get from weather.gov. Where do you think you guys provide the biggest value added to your customers?
That's a good one. So I knew you were going to have a good one. I knew it.
Well, right. I mean, I guess what's the difference of somebody saying, well, you could go to weather.gov and read, or just get the text.
You talk about the contractor part, right? Like the weather sales stuff, or the weather service stuff?
Sure.
The aspect? Yeah. I mean, it's a tough sell. That's why guys say, I watch the weather, I watch the TV every day. I got it on my phone, the radar. It's incredible what technology is out there. And I think what it comes down to is cost, obviously. Cost is key. But the data, everyone seems to love when it comes to money, these guys want to get paid those certain amounts for snow, they'll latch on. They like that. They like getting the report, because then sometimes contractors send out to their other providers that they have.
Okay, so do you guys have like some sort of automated procedure that sends out the data to these companies?
We do.
That essentially
We do.
What it is? Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then you're in charge, so you don't have to deal with making forecasts for all of these hundreds of locations.
No.
It's automated, and then so then
Correct.
that comes to my next question.
Yeah.
Who's in charge of the he said, she said litigation? Do you guys have like a CCM on staff?
Yeah, we do.
Because I figured there'd be a lot of that kind of stuff, especially
absolutely.
with automated procedures.
All the time.
Okay.
All the time. Yeah.
Right.
And
I bet you that's the best part of the job, right?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Okay.
It's fantastic. Yeah, it's we do. We got the behind the scenes type people. So.
Thank you, Eric.
Well,
No problem.
I think to dovetail on that, because this is where we're headed here at COD.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at your stuff going, all right, all of the weather products that come from the Weather Service offices, that's all GIS, plotting up snowfall reports. You then take your company's lat lawn, and you can put them in that snowfall thing, and you get these graphical images that you can send to each one.
Yes.
I mean, that's almost like a perfect, that's a project a student intern could do and say, hey, look what I did for your company.
It's true.
That would be a great opportunity.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's where some of that value added is going to be. It's like, oh, look, I can tell you exactly how much snow you got. See, you're right here.
We actually had a couple students from NIU do a presentation. What they did was they gathered, it was one of Dr. Shagnon's 431 class, I believe, research. They took, what we do is when we want a site or property, a company to work with, Bank of America or whatnot, we have to bid on a list of sites. We get 500 sites that come through. Boom. A town, state. Guys will ask me, hey, in the next column over on this Excel sheet, can you go and put down the average snowfall in this region? You know, New York, Wheaton, Illinois, Glen Ellen. Obviously, it's going to vary a little bit, but when they get that aspect of the idea of averages, then they can go ahead, and that's what the students did. They gathered a whole bunch of data from different states and different towns, put it together, and then when we go to bid on a property, they use that. We just try and get business. Unfortunately, it's usually lowest bidder wins. It's all about the money. So, it's and that makes it tough too, because you can't pay contractors much. Contractors don't want to work for you. Sort of a snowball effect. So, I expand on what you said. But
are there any other big custom tailored forecasts? I know you said Jewel Dominic's a lot. Did they ever call you and say, hey, when are we going to get a large snowstorm because we want to stock up on a bunch of bread?
Yeah, actually.
Anything like that?
Yeah, they won't really call me directly. I've gotten a couple emails actually from some of the corporate, but they will want to know. They always want the forecast after that report. They love that. But yeah, they'll call our guy in our generator division. They'll give him a call and say, hey, I hear we got something coming. What's your guy saying? Let's go ahead and order, especially if it's dry ice, let's order, 5 tons or whatever, and get that in here. So, exactly right.
I look at this and I didn't know about Cherry Logistics, so it's nice to know this is in place, because I really think that the future of the private industry is volume and low prices, because of the plethora of data that's out there. And everybody thinks, just like web design, everybody thinks they know how to do a website, but they really don't. But if you could offer quality at low prices to a lot of people, I think you could go beyond companies worrying about snowplow removal, like golf courses and large venue forecasting. Anything that's going to be in the large scale where you can just start to automate some of this information.
Absolutely.
Because your prices are $100 a month. It's not really that much for what is possible, especially you guys were contracting out who was going to snowplow for them.
Yes.
So I think there's this is where it's going to be in the future.
It is. I know it's not this.
Less and less important.
I know.
Because he's calling low price like the Walmart of weather information.
It is. That's right.
Walmart.
Lowest one wins.
You could forecast for Walmart.
Just because we're going to have a fun conversation with this when air is all done. To play devil's advocate on that, you have to be careful sometimes with the automation, right? And let the models do this, and then there's no value added from the human. And I could see we're on large events, anomalous events, where that could become a big problem. So just to play devil's advocate on that point. But yeah, I do agree with Paul. The private sector, I think, is moving that.
And I think that's a great
right.
point. But if it were big enough and you had enough meteorologists, you could actually do regional forecasts with some. You could care about it.
That's right.
About fine-tuning an actual forecast.
Yes, definitely, without a doubt.
That's a fun discussion, isn't it?
It's the next one. Yeah, exactly right. And that's where my boss sort of had the idea to grow on that piece. And I never even imagined it could be like that. I mean, come on. I thought it was just broadcasting and National Weather Service. But you get in something like this, and you're really kind of getting the key details of. You see with the Marine Treadle and AccuWeather, what they do in a way. And obviously disagree with some of it, making money, profit. That's not the way to go in the weather industry, but unfortunately that's kind of what it's becoming, I think. Just my honest opinion. So I know for a while you preached it was kind of in Walker and in them too. It's not good, but you just got to be ready and go in that, be prepared for that direction. So. Anything else?
I think I got one last question for you.
Sure.
You're talking about one of the more recent additions to your company was the whole idea of the generator rentals and getting that out. And it really started making me think about Sandy. Talk about major current events, Sandy was definitely a major current event.
Yes.
How much fun did you guys have with Sandy? And are you still working on some of those projects? It's because I know that they're still hurting out there.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because that was expected to be, really a rain bomb type system, and it really pulled in the cold air. I think a lot more than with the models, and then anyone really picked up on. Yeah, I sent emails out to our customers out there, warning them, here's what's coming. Get some snow accumulation on the backside. It's going to be. It was an epic storm. I mean, it's just a lifetime. And they said, no, we're good. We're okay. 2 days before the storm, they wanted generators. Now you want to pay triple the price to send them out there, and they needed them. So, it was more of a hassle though on us because we had to pay. They paid us triple, but then we had to pay another guy quadruple.
Yeah.
So, you don't really make money in that case. But they're the customer. We try and do whatever we can. But all you can do is email them. It's up to their call if they wanted them.
How much do you work with people in that kind of situation after the fact?
After it's been delivered and stuff like the.
Well, I'm thinking Sandy. It's been a while now since Sandy hit, but they're still suffering a lot of the effects of that.
Sure, those generators have been sitting out there about a couple weeks after Sandy was done, because the power was out weeks. I'm sure some. Right. I don't know if any are still out or not, but our HVAC department is trying to come up with it's all brand new, a development to go in there, restore everything, sort of like what's that company? Pure Clean or something like that. Service Master, yeah.
Serve Pro.
Yeah. That's the other one. Yeah, we're trying to be like that and get in there and take on that division too.
Take on another angle to your
exactly.
company. Okay.
Exactly right. All right.
Excellent. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you for watching. Thank you again, Eric, for coming out.
No problem. Thank you.
Have a good night, you guys.